We've got another police shooting here out of Madison, Wisconsin. This is out of channel3000.com. A Madison police officer shot and killed a 19-year-old man after he assaulted the officer, police say. Police responded to reports of shots fired on Williamson Street at 6:29 p.m. Police confirmed an incident on the 1100 block of Williamson Street. Madison Police Chief Michael Koval said officers responded to a disturbance call where it was reported that a person was jumping in and out of traffic and possibly responsible for a battery. Koval said the officer heard something in the person's home and went in. He said the person assaulted the officer and the officer shot him. Koval said the officer rendered aid and the man was transferred to the hospital where he later died. And relating to this article is the NY Daily News reporting on the same incident. They go on to say that protests erupted in Madison, Wisconsin, Friday night after a black teenager was shot and killed in an altercation with police, authorities say. The Madison police officer was allegedly assaulted after forcing his way into an apartment where there were reports of a suspect causing a, quote, disturbance, the Daily Cardinal reported. Here's a picture of the victim here. Here's the scene. Here's some of these protests that took place. Any comments on here? We'll scroll down. Yeah, the top comment here. Quote, "I've never violently assaulted a police officer or anyone else, and I'm still alive. Amazing how that works, huh? Why are all these teens so quick to resort to violence?" James has a point there. You should never, it's not a good idea to initiate violence against a armed police officer unless you absolutely have to. And there's been cases in America that have shown that you have the right to protect yourself if it gets to that point, if you're unlawfully being attacked by a police officer. Okay, moving on. Here's another article out of WKOW, which relates as well. It goes on to say, Wisconsin law requires an outside agency to investigate officer-involved shooting cases. DCI is in charge of this investigation. DCI standing for the Division of Criminal Investigation. Here's a quote coming from the mother. Quote, "My son has never been a violent person," Irwin said, "and to die in such a violent way, it baffles me." Chief Koval said it's not clear if Robertson had any sort of weapon. Quote, "Initial findings at the scene did not reflect a gun or anything of that nature that would have been used by the subject," he said. The officer was knocked down by a blow to the head. He was taken to the hospital where he was expected to be treated and released. The chief says the officer went to the apartment he thought the man had gone into, where he thought he heard a disturbance and forced entry into the apartment. There's a lot of unknowns there. The same subject assaulted my officer, and in the context of mutual combat, the officer did draw his revolver and subsequently shot the suspect, Koval said. Top comment here. "Why does this have to make national news every time a cop kills someone now? Oh wait, only every time a cop shoots a black thug who fights back while being lawfully arrested. Where are all the stories when a white suspect is killed by a cop? This happens more often than a black being killed, by the way." He's got a point there. Well, first of all, he says lawfully, while the thug fights back while being lawfully arrested. We don't know if he was being lawfully arrested. We weren't there. We're not entirely sure what happened, what went down there. There's a lot of unknowns. Now, he's got a point here. Tom's got a point. Statistically, there are more whites that are shot by police in America per year than there are blacks. But you also have to keep in mind that blacks make up a smaller percentage of the total population. So mathematically, per capita, you're actually more likely to be shot by police if you're black than you are white. But I mean, all that aside, you're more likely to die at the hands of another black man if you're black than you are police. And if you want to get into that, statistics show that overall in America, nowadays it's like you're 8 to 10 times more likely to be killed by a police officer than you are a terrorist. Let's go ahead and hear what the police chief himself had to say about the incident.
Police said,
in light of so much things that have happened, not just across this country, but in our own community, it's understandable that the reaction at the scene amidst some of our citizens is extremely volatile emotional and upsetting, and we understand that. That's absolutely appropriate under the circumstances. We would urge, obviously, that everybody exercise restraint and some calm, and let us allow the Department of Criminal Investigation to conduct their affairs, and we will all await then that what their investigative fact findings should reflect.
The shooting comes at...
So what do we know for certain? We know that A, being a cop is a dangerous job. We know that, especially in inner cities. We know there's a lot of crazy people out there, a lot of dangerous and crazy people out in the world. We, number C, we know that police brutality is an ongoing, obvious problem, and it's a compounding issue, along with crime scene tampering, false reporting. There's many well-documented instances of this. Anybody that doesn't live in a hole can see this is a compounding problem. And what we know, D, is we know that police officers do not have a constitutional duty to protect somebody. It's been shown that out of this case out of Washington here, the Supreme Court ruled back in June of 2005 that police do not have a constitutional duty to protect a person from harm. And it's been shown that. So think about that. We'll see what happens here. Stay tuned.